Hello, and welcome to The Film Cricket, the show that loves watching our stories and telling you what we thought. In this episode, we take on the big leagues with Moneyball from Columbia Pictures, which, at the time of this taping, was still owned by Sony. Make believe. But you don't have to make believe that Sony cares, I think. This movie, spoiler alert, is about baseball. Starring Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill, this little tale of the diamond-shaped field is well acted, pretty well written, and had a lot of scenes with a dark, shadowy Brad Pitt. You don't have to be a big baseball nut to enjoy this movie, but it won't hurt either. Yeah.
There's a championship team we can afford.
First job in baseball?
First job anywhere.
Moneyball is hilarious.
I asked you to evaluate 3 players. How many did you do?
47. Actually, 51. I don't know why I lied.
Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill, Moneyball. Rated PG-13.
Now this movie is based on the true story of Billy Beane, the man who pretty much he went out on a limb and kinda sorta revolutionized the way that baseball was managed. But like any kind of change, this came with loads and loads of resistance. But the payoff ended up being pretty much worth it. And I won't reveal any big spoilers, but if you've been abreast of baseball for the last 11 or so years, chances are you're going to have a good idea about what this movie is all about. The interplay between the characters is great, and it really shows the genuine resistance between the out-of-the-box thinking Beane and Peter Brand, who's played by Jonah Hill, and the old-school, obstinate baseball establishment. The cast is superb, and there were great performances given by all. Jonah Hill is great as the wide-eyed, revolutionary Peter Brand. I would have loved to see more Philip Seymour Hoffman as A's head coach Art Howe. Hoffman is believable as a baseball coach and is typically magic in just about every other film that he does. I just feel like he was underutilized in this story. I also want to give special attention to Karis Dorsey, who plays Casey Beane, Billy Beane's daughter. Sometimes a child actor steps into the fray and plays it up with the best of them, and this is no exception. She is delightful, and if given more screen time, I think she could have stolen this movie. Fantastic. As the story explores the dark side of Billy Beane, the direction takes a not-so-subtle choice in filming Pitt in very dark light and hard shadows, kind of like I mentioned before. It may hit one over the head that this is Billy Beane dealing with his dark issues, but it is nevertheless interesting and fun to watch. Otherwise, the film flows well and, in some cases, captures the ambience so well you can almost smell the environment in which it's being filmed, which is great when you're not in the locker room. On the downside, there are certain moments that move a little slow, and there are some casual references to certain aspects of baseball, very baseball-y things. Mostly the players' names, and that's going to be completely lost on someone who's not up on their baseball. On the other hand, if you are a ravenous follower of baseball and know everything there is to know about the subject, a majority of the film's suspense will be lost on you. That could be a good thing, on the other hand, because, if you're a purist, then you want it to be correct, don't you? I know I do. Now, although they had some baseball in this movie, I didn't feel that it was that much, and what they did show was shown on a low-res TV filter that appeared to be, because it probably was, archived footage. I understand why they did this, and it makes sense, but I still kind of would have liked to see them do more baseball action on the field. Overall, though, this is a really solid film and plenty interesting to watch. The Film Cricket gives this a cheer to chirp ratio of 4-1. Moneyball is rated PG-13 for some language, but otherwise it's pretty family friendly. Also being a baseball movie, there are a lot of characters who chew a lot of chew. Yeah. Well, that wraps it up for this episode of the Film Cricket. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, and do keep in mind that it's not that hard being a film cricket.